Look, Sharri, it's a measure of justice, and I'm obviously happy that he's been put away, that he's no longer, at least for a number of years, a threat to society and to the community. But it raises still a lot of questions that haven't been answered. And in the words there, those very profound words of the presiding judge, he alludes to the fact that there are overseas interests that coordinated this attack. We know that the man who was convicted was not at the top of that criminal enterprise. He was just a piece. And who ordered him to do this, for what purpose specifically, remains unknown. And until we have that whole picture, until the very top of that enterprise has been dealt with and is put in jail as well, it's a denial of justice. And it also, of course, dredges up a lot of painful memories of, the impact it had not only on my family, but on the neighborhood, on my old neighbors. And as you and I said at the time, Sharri, this was a turning point. It was a key moment. This was a firebombing that for the first time targeted a private home, targeted an individual, and it was a milestone, a morbid milestone on the way to Bondi. And so it brings up a lot of pain, and it shows how much work is left to be done to bring the full enterprise to justice.
I mean, you've been fighting against anti-Semitism, but this made it deeply personal for you. The Anti-Semitism Royal Commission heard some horrific evidence yesterday. Michelle Goldman, the CEO of the New South Wales Jewish Board of Deputies, recounted the case of a 10-year-old child who'd been subjected to severe anti-Semitic bullying. Have a look.
This was a Year 5 student, a 10-year-old, who was subjected to very severe anti-Semitic bullying. He was physically pinned to the ground and punched numerous times. He was shown a photograph of Adolf Hitler and was told that he's my idol, watch your back if you snitch.
Alex, the extent of anti-Semitism towards children is one of the key things that has emerged so far in these public hearings.
It is, and we saw it just a few days ago at the netball courts at Heffron, another safe place where parents and children come to play weekend sports and feel that they're safe. And there was a horrific instance of abuse and harassment of Jewish families there as well. It's something that has not ceased since Bondi. I think people felt that perhaps anti-Semitism had reached its crescendo, its high point, and things would subside thereafter. That hasn't happened. And there are hundreds and hundreds of cases of instances of abuse of children in schoolyards, university campuses, of course, on sporting fields. It is rife. And one of the benefits of this Royal Commission, one of its key functions, is to bring this all to the surface, to have accountability for schools to understand the onus on them, the obligation they have to protect the children under their care. And hopefully something good comes of it, even beyond the Royal Commission itself. But this is a comprehensive problem, and so many families have suffered. And every one of these instances, like the one Michelle spoke about there, it affects a child in a profound way, their sense of worth, their sense of belonging, their place in community and society. And we need to stamp this out, and only with consequences.
You just referred there to the incident at the netball match in Sydney's eastern suburbs, the alleged incident at the netball match. The 42-year-old mum who allegedly yelled "F the Jews" at the under-12s game. Well, the Daily Telegraph's reporting that she's now been forced to take leave from her childcare job. Her name is Jodie Scarcella. She was charged with using offensive language near a school or public place. Alex, on the day when you were there, you immediately said that there needs to be consequences, and it is good to see that firm action was taken from all quarters pretty quickly.
Yeah, and look, that begins with the governing body of Randwick Netball. They put out a statement immediately. They took action on the spot. Likewise, with Netball New South Wales and Netball Australia, everyone recognised that this is an affront to Australian values, to the sport, to the social activities, the tradition of weekend sports. But I'm most proud of the Maccabi families and how they handled it in the moment. When something like that occurs, most people are so shocked that they don't react in the appropriate way. They let it pass. And later they live with that regret, that sense that they should have acted and done something. Well, these families did do something. They called the woman up on it. They forced her to confront what she had done. And that led to the police being called and these consequences that we're seeing. What she did was obscene, and in a very public place. There happened to be journalists present, which then kind of blew up the story into a national story. But these are the consequences of behaving in a swinish fashion in public like this. And, I think a stand has been taken, and hopefully more families will be protected as a result of that stand.
And just to repeat again there that these are allegations that will play out in court, and through her lawyer it's understood she's denying that she said what's alleged to have been said. Just very quickly before you go, Alex, Chris Kenny found this clip and reported it on air a couple of nights ago that One Nation Senator Malcolm Roberts had basically refused to rule out that the Bondi massacre was a false flag. Have a look at this.
You asked me if I thought it was a false flag. If I make a statement, it's got to be backed by fact. I don't have the facts yet. Yep. I'm not ruling it out, you notice that?
Look, he finally, at a press conference, shut it down today. But Alex, I mean, it's so irresponsible, and there needs, you can't let this hang.
No, it's appalling. And when someone puts such a ludicrous, obscene statement to you as a senator of this country, you have to shut it down. There's only one way to deal with that, and that's to refute it categorically, perhaps with a few choice words thrown in as well. And the fact that the senator entertained it in some regard, maybe playing to certain constituencies, I think it's obscene, and he should certainly apologize for it. And it's not, idle stuff. It's not harmless. These conspiracy theories abound online. They're everywhere. Accusations that every anti-Semitic attack is an inside job or Mossad orchestrated. And ultimately, these conspiracy theories endanger the community. They degrade our society. If someone's willing to believe that Bondi was an inside job, they will believe anything.
Yeah.
And we can't allow this stuff to become normalized. It's already become normalized, and leaders have to stand up to it.
All right. Alex Ryvchin, thank you very much for joining us.